参った。泣けか。
ありえねえ、食事と会話の真最中に。しかも続きを噛み始めたぞ。
Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. I didn't figure out another deck that I was interested in playing this week to fill in with the experimental stuff, so I'm just going to go back to some more Croc. I really did enjoy this list, and I've been playing it a little bit on and off on Sim, and it has been quite good. I think the main thing that I need to level up on is remembering that Ground Death has another mode than just a 4K. I need to keep that in mind. I think I've probably missed a couple games where I needed to get it. But yeah, let's see what this deck can do. So I'll hop into some games. All right, here we have a Roger. They've opted to go second. With them going second, I think I need to mulligan, look for some better cards here. I don't think that's worth playing out the Miss Wednesday right now. We can play it out next turn without too much loss of tempo. If we need it for the Daz Bones, and it looks like we will. So let's just go a 7 and a Miss Wednesday here, because we'll be using this with the Daz Bones next turn, probably. If we can get rid of a bullet, that would be the kind of card that we're hoping to snipe with the Daz Bones here. We'll take the first one here. Ooh, we get a trigger that lets us find... I think we'll grab the Miss All Sunday. We're on the odd curve, so we will want this. Here, we're gonna swing first. Oh, I shouldn't have swung first, now that I think about it. And then play out you and swing here. I doubt they protect here, but it is a possibility that they protect. But I doubt it. Yeah, they do let it go. A 6. I'm gonna take. I don't have any 2Ks yet. Miss Wednesday's a great one to find. We get a Scooper Gavin. They're still, so they're set up to go to 10 next turn, but not have access to Shanks. So let's try to just pepper in some more swings while they're low. Okay, they are countering here, which I think works to our benefit. What do we have in trash? We could be bringing back a Babe and a Miss Valentine, which I think is probably good enough. Babe, Miss Valentine. Here we'll grab a Ground Death, because I don't think that we can let all of them go. We do have to note that there are 2 more in the trash, and they're a little bit harder of a card to get back out. So we do need to grab onto them now. Rayleigh, tapping him down. A 7 here. I think it's correct to give a 2 and a 1 here. 2 and a 1. I don't think the Daz Bones are going to be as useful in the future. An 8 here. I think we're going to... It's going to be 8 and 10. Unfortunately, we do have to take this. 2 at 5 is fine. 9 here we will have to take. We're going to do some freezing now. So let's swing here, because they gave us the option. Let's go 8 at Scopper, because I think that is, if I'm giving them resources by swinging it face, and I can still do the double freeze here. Freeze Rayleigh. Miltu. And we're going to trash. I'm gonna get rid of Disappointed, and then we're gonna pass here. I think we're gonna need okay, a 7. I think I'm actually going to counter this with a 2 and a 1. Yeah, there's the Shanks. Shanks we will go ahead and pick up our 2K again from. Okay, so now we're going to need to keep Shanks frozen here. This is a 7, which we should just take the advantage of now. And because Shanks is rested, we can actually do the Hawkateur angle. Let's swing again here. Now we can KO you to cost reduce you. I can still mill. Trash you again. Freeze. Freeze. And Hawkateur you. Passing here. They have a second Shanks. It's really tough for us to kind of dig out, but at least we have a couple Crocs on field already. And Boncray is a blocker in a pinch. 7 here, I think it's correct to do 2 and a 2. If they have a second Shanks, we might be in trouble. Now they have Uta and Ground Death. I think I need to survive one more turn here. We can only freeze 2 this time, unfortunately. So let's get in our swings. No trigger there. 9. Expecting some counter to start coming out here. Okay, so we have some counter. Here we're going to KO one of you to reduce you again. I'm not gonna mill this time. We're gonna trash a 1K. We're gonna freeze you. Then we're going to, let's see here. We can actually start doing, because we're not having to play out another Croc, we can start doing some Dawn attachment here to try to get more cards out of them. Okay, they do use that. That makes me suspicious. I do want to play a blocker at 4 and hold up Ground Death for 5, so we have 3 left to work with. Oh no, just 2, because we still have not frozen Shanks. And then Hawkateur, freeze Shanks, and play you down over that and pass the turn. Okay, so I think things are looking up pretty well here. Being able to freeze down the Shanks for 2 turns in a row was really big. Our opponent has 3 swings here. Another Rayleigh, okay. A 7. We can give a 2 and a 1. 9, we can give... It's going to be a 9 and an 8. I'm actually going to take this to try to get out of... Oh, I guess it was a 9. 1 and 1. All right, we got there. Opponent wasn't able to do... Oh, they could have... They may have been able to survive another turn. With a blocker and 2 radical beams. That's probably pretty good. I guess that means they have no other counter because it's the Rayleigh and the Rogers. So it's definitely risky for them to take that line, especially because I had the Ground Death. But there was a potential line there. And that's only 4 Dawns. They have 6 Dawn to work with. They might have even been able to get out the... Oh, it wouldn't have gotten around the blocker, though. Yeah, so I think they did take the correct line. Just hope that I don't have enough counter. And I didn't have a ton left, so that was a pretty good angle to go for. Let's hop into the next one. All right, now we have a Boa. I feel I've been going second with this matchup, and I think I'll just stick with that. I think this is reasonable. I have a searcher, have a little bit of interaction. We have the Croc ready for on curve. Bones can come out a little early if we find a Mr. 2. If not, we do find a Mr. 2. So let's go ahead and grab Mr. 2 and pass here. Most of the time my opponents will play out, yeah, there's the Marguerite. So that means they do not have the ability to burn my life if I kill this Marguerite. Which is pretty nice to be in that situation. They found a femur though, so we definitely have to pay attention to that. Which means when they swing a 5 here, we will counter with this Bones that we're going to plan on bringing back next turn. Here, reduce you, mill 2, bring him back, Bones. I'm going to swing with Leader here, because I don't also want to give them the trigger if I don't have to. And then if they do want to defend, then I'm getting extra cards out of them there. Okay, so that's the first of the Kuja Pirates down. They're not going to stop from here, unfortunately. And our opponent is going to get a 7 here, which I think I will have to take. Yeah, I'm going to have to take this one. Babe is actually kind of okay. Ooh, this one is kind of interesting because we can put the Boa Hancock down, and then what do we do about that? There's nothing super strong about that. What is the correct way to play this? On 6 here. Well, let's swing a 5 here. If they want to give the free block, then so be it. But usually they're kind of incentivized to take, so it'll be interesting to see how they work through this one. Okay, so they do take. I think what I'm going to do then is I'm going to play the Bone Clay. We're going to play out of Mr. 1 to rest this. And then we're going to swing an 8 at face and just try to hurt their life here. Forcing them to, yeah, look, we got two life down, which is great. 7 Dawn, probably Akuma's coming out here. They have a lot of cards in hand. That luckily they haven't hit any triggers to draw off lead, so we can kind of work around that. Double freeze with Croc can be, yeah, there's the Kuma. That's kind of what I expected. They also do get 1 here. Them discarding a femur probably means they have a second one. And I think I can defend here. I can't do another Mr. 1. So how do we navigate this one? It might be correct to just do the double freeze. Let's see what they do with the 5, though. They have been taking these. Okay, so they do start countering now. They have 1 on lead. I think it's actually probably just correct to just go for it and start to go in here. Oh, interesting that they... Yeah, I'm just gonna... If they're just gonna give me cards, I think I'm okay with this. Okay. Do they get a trigger? They do not. So this is definitely in our favor right now. And then we get to do this. We're going to trash a Valentine to freeze you as well, and then we'll pass. Kind of expecting the big boa now on 9. Yeah, there's the big boa. Unfortunate that this is just a way that this one plays out a lot of the times. They do not have 1 on lead though, which is great because now we can actually start to put Dawn here to force 2Ks out. They still haven't hit any triggers. This is a really lucky game for me right now. We know they have a ton of 2Ks. Okay, wow, we are getting very lucky on these. We're gonna swing here. I think we're gonna do the cool. And then here, let's do Miss All Sunday, getting back Boncle and a Valentine here. Valentine, pick up a second Croc. We have 20 cards left. Then we can get a blocker, I think. Do we have any? We don't have any Mr. Fours in the yard. Do we have the other blocker? Yes, we do. So let's go ahead and do that. I think the blockers work here. I'm gonna not mill, I think, on this time around. And then we're going to trash. What do we trash here? You're the most expensive. And then we pass here. Kind of expecting another burn. But I think we've been done well to stay at 3 life here. Unfortunately, we don't have any ground deaths. Red rock on our Croc, which is okay. Because these are going to swing, we're going to have an opportunity to use these patchworks. Yeah, there's the pudding. I knew I needed to worry about that one. Unfortunately for them, they did put us into a ground death. So I'm going to use the ground death and a 1K to protect here. Oh, and they passed there. On my turn, they have no blocks. They have 1 in life. I guess I do have a pretty solid chance of finishing here. They still have a 7 they can send at him, which would be the remaining 2K, and then I get to go like 777 a bunch, which I think probably is enough to get there. But it is not for sure for me to get there. I think the math might be there, but I don't think it's 100%, depending on the nature of what these triggers are. But good game to our opponent nonetheless. Let's hop into the next one. All right, here we have a Djembe. I don't know what to go first or second here. I'm gonna try going first. I've gone second most of the rest of the time. And I want to see how this plays out differently. Here, I guess I'm going to take the Croc here. Well, what am I doing next turn? Yeah, I'm just going to take the Croc here. Chew. On play, draw 1 card. Okay, that's fine. Let's just do... and actually, I think this seems a little funky, but I think I want to do it this way. Because if I can get them to use swings or open up their guys to combat without having to take a hit, that works out pretty nicely for me. And here we got the nice swing plus. Yeah, this will still work out. So let's do Boncle, Milsu. We get you back. Tap you. 5 here. See if they let us have it. They do not let us have it, so that means we get to swing again at it. Okay, wow. So they gave us 2 cards for that. I don't know that was what I would have done. We don't have anything else to do, so we will take that one, and then we can deal with the other swing. Yeah, this Dazbones can help us clear multiple bodies here. Oh, they're just playing all the guys here. An 8 here. That means we can use one of our ground deaths. Oh, we don't have enough in the yard. This is the first time that's actually happened. Wow. That's the first time that's happened to me. All right. Noted. Let's do you. Let's, and then we can play choose 0 stages. 5 here, and then we'll do a, well, we have it now. Let's, oh, now it's gone. I gotta remember that that's how that works. The order of operations on those is always a little funky to me. Jozu, okay. Pretty reasonable. Opponent's got a pretty stacked hand here. Unfortunately, they are looking pretty good right now. A 5. Chu is probably coming in this turn. So I will counter this one expecting the second swing come in. Oh, they didn't go for it there. Let's just give them another 5 here. This is just how this game is shaping up. We're gonna freeze you, shrink you, mill 2. We'll get rid of you. Miss All Sunday I think will be good next turn. We will use Ground Death I think on this turn. Ooh, Newgate is an interesting one. I suppose this does work. It's draw 2, trash 1, so it's +1. They get to spread out a bunch of Dawn. Get to protect their guys pretty reasonably. 5. I'll give the 2K here. This is definitely coming in as well. And then we can go to Ground Death here. Okay. So let's do this first. Chances of them wanting to protect that are pretty low. This seems reasonable. You, mill 2, trash, babe, freeze you. Unfortunately, we don't find the, let's see here. We'll play out here, and then we'll pass here. We're forcing them to, making this have to be an attacker if they want to keep up pressure, I think is my logic at least. If they have more Newgates, we're probably going to get in trouble pretty quick here. We'll counter that. Okay, another here. They don't get to bounce anything of mine. They're just search. Quite an effective place to be, I feel like, but and here's the Jimbeis that they're gonna start gonna get me with eventually. I'm gonna take that one, unfortunately. Okay, so they do get it down, so that means we get to use you. We get to swing now, which is nice. We get to make progress here. I'm gonna take some life. Take some life. They might give me cards for this one. They've got enough cards to where they can probably take them to me. Gavel. Okay, gavel pitching that. Plus another 2K. Okay. Let's do... I'm not gonna mill this time. We're gonna trash... I guess Miss All Sunday. Freeze you. is you. Pass. We know they have a Jimbei in there somewhere. A 5. Let's give him some counter. Little swings we give counter for. Femur. Interesting choice on Femur. I don't have any blockers. It's gonna take Femur one. Well, maybe that was a bad call. No trigger here, and now here comes the Jimbei with a bunch of... Yeah, that was a bad call. I should have countered here. I think we can still get around this. 16, 18. Yeah, we messed up. Okay. Lesson learned there. I knew they had this. The Femur, it was like the psychic damage that it dealt to me by psyching me out with that one. But let's go over to a wrap up. So wrapping up, the deck still feels pretty good. The one card that I want to try out next time that I did not get a chance to try out this time is the what's it called? This one. The Miss Doublefinger here. It helps with the Croc ability because it turns on off of Miss All Sunday, which can be kind of good. Gives you a little bit of extra defense against cost-based things, and is just a pretty strong attacking body, stronger than the Mr. Fives. I find that a lot of times the Mr. Fives aren't coming up as much as I would like. Mr. 4 comes up more often just because it helps fill the curve on 4. But even him, I could see shifting around numbers. Other 4-drop ones we could look at would be, this one is EBO3, so it won't be ready right away. And is not any better. I feel like this is an attacking body's fine. This one, though, does get a draw card off of the Bonkley. If you use it off of Bonkley or whatever. Then this one, this one is also kind of interesting. I wish it had counter. That's the biggest downside to him. So cards that I would adjust here, potentially. Mr. 5 feels maybe a little unnecessary. So maybe Doublefinger works. And the other one that I would potentially try is cutting or playing around with the ratios on the Miss Wednesday and Miss Merry Christmas to maybe look at Miss Golden Week as a way to more reliably get the right cards in my trash for Miss All Sunday and Mr. 2 as just ways of like kind of setting that up. There's obvious downside with that of accidentally milling yourself out. That happened in at least one game that I've played today where I just found myself on one card and needed to do my draw step and just lost right there. So an interesting one. This Miss Valentine from EBO3 is another card that you could look at, but I think that you don't need the trash quite as much as in the other things. This blocker, Nico Robin, would also be an interesting one, but it's a promo that we still don't know when that one's going to come out in the West. Crescent Cutlass I don't think is necessary for the deck. Oh, interesting. Barrow instead of Baroque gets me neutral. This one could be interesting. Now that I'm looking at this, I wonder if this is any good because it just says that you just get to kill something in a lot of cases. A lot of times you're trading your bodies in anyways. So being able to just throw him as a 7 at something and it just work. There may be something here. I don't know with it not having counter how many you can afford, but I would be interested in testing out just a single copy or whatever that you can find off of Makita sometime. So I'll have to go dig those out of my bulk. But overall, this is continuing to be a pretty fun deck. Miss All Sunday as your backup. The Croc lines are pretty simple at the end of the day. The interesting spot is when you don't find the Croc or when you need to find a time to take a break on Crocs. That's actually one thing that is only in the last handful of games really come apparent to me, that if you just chain Croc into Croc into Croc, a lot of times what will happen is you are just killing time, but you're not actually progressing forward as fast as you want to be. It does work in some number of games, but because your opponents just get to hold their big scary guys up and never swing with them, you are buying yourself time, but you're also not giving yourself the ability to clear their bodies. So I think that's probably the next level up, is finding when it's not appropriate to chain another Croc and try to weave in another top end card so that you can get some tempo for a following turn where you get to have more bodies and really hammer home. Because this really is the only card you get to play during the turn. And oftentimes the second stun is about as good as getting a blocker off of Miss All Sunday, or being able to just use a ground death to fade that one extra swing that you didn't freeze. So that's what I'm going to be working on next. Doing a little bit of refinement and then learning how to navigate this balance. But thanks for hanging out with me, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.